I'm waiting for just one person to tell us about these modules.
Okay, good evening. Can I try?
Yes.
This is Iprosa.
Yes, Iprosa.
Yes, can I try? It
Yes.
comprises of module 004, Introduction to Educational Resources, 009, Introduction to Library Skills, Introduction to 014, 014, Introduction to Curriculum Adaptations and Development, Module 16, Teaching and Learning Strategies for Children with Special Needs, Module 18, Introduction to Contemporary Issues Affecting Education in Kenya.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much. It has, as Ciprosa has mentioned, this area comprises of the module 004, Introduction to Educational Resources. We also have module 009, that is library study skills. We also have module number 014, curriculum adaptations. We also have module 016, teaching strategies. And then we also have module 018, that is contemporary issues affecting education in Kenya today. So those are the modules that we are going to keep measuring at while we are looking at this area. Now, I also want to remind us that in our last class, that is on Thursday, we were able to highlight causes of drug and substance abuse among students. We were also able to look at how ways in which play promotes the transfer of learning. We were able to describe forms of sexual abuse children may be exposed to. And then we were also able to look at the advantages of the field trip as described in question number 2B, or as is required in question number 2B. Yes, so I want us to carry on with our revision, and we had stopped at a point where we were supposed to look at, I think this is where we stopped, that is on the advantages of field trip as educational method. And we say that field trip improves the learner's self-confidence because it exposes them.
The questions again.
Yes?
The questions again we screenshot.
Questions are there?
Oh, 1 minute. Aya. Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah, so we stopped at a point where we were looking at the advantages of the field trip. And one of the advantages we talked about was that it improves the learner's self-confidence. And it also brings in the reinforcement. It reinforces that which has been learned theoretically in class. It is now learned in the practical. We have also, it also brings a connection of what is learned in the class with the real world outside. It also eradicates the classroom boredom, as it provides learning opportunities that does not only inspire the learners, but also makes them feel that they are learning. It also leads to, may contribute to better achievement in examinations when the exams are also coming from the area where the learners have just learned in the field trip. And therefore, we begin looking at question number 3A. Question number 3A, and In question number 3A, we justify the use of email. Justify the use of email in accessing learning information. Justify the use of email in accessing learning information. That is the question. So we need a justification on the use of email in accessing learning information. And that is a question that you may not specify exactly where it belongs, but you'll find this question, part of it, you'll find this information on the use of email. You'll find this in the library study skills. You'll also find the same in module number 18. You'll also find the same in module number 15, that is under ICT. So justify the use of email in accessing learning information. And as we prepare to answer that, remember, while we were in the various centers, which I want to hope you are taken through the e-learning system, and the majority to this moment may be in a position to maneuver through the system and access it. So justify the use of email in accessing learning information. Are we there?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so we need a justification here. Yes, Damaris.
I'm trying to say,
Yes.
Okay.
email in accessing learning information. For example, the way you are teaching us right now, you can share with us certain information through each and everyone's email, so that you may capture whatever had been learned. And we use it as a recording, whatever, for recording purposes.
Okay, we have gotten you well. Thank you. Damaris?
Yeah, I was saying the information can be received by many at the same time, as long as the link is there.
Can be received by
So it
many
can be
at the
used
same
to
time.
teach many
Thank you.
given time.
Yes, Sarah. Then Rosaida. Sarah? Sarah Wangari, please unmute and talk. Okay, Rosaida?
Can we also say it improves the digital skills in that by the time you are maneuvering the email, you learn more? Have you heard Pascal?
Yes. Improving the digital skills. It improves the use of digital, or it improves the digital skills while using it. Yes, sir. Sarah Wangari, you are unmuted now. You can talk.
I was saying,
Yes.
can we say it can be retrieved after it has been taught? Hello, Pascal.
Yes, I've heard
Yeah.
you
Have you heard me?
very well.
Hello. It can be retrieved.
The information shared, whether for learning or not, can be retrieved for as a reference for later dates.
Yeah.
Or for the future dates. Thank you. Let's carry on to the next question. If there is no any other hand, discuss the
Pascal.
significance. Yes.
Just clarification.
Yes.
When talking of justification, are we only talking of the positivity or we are supposed to do both? Positivity and negativity.
Okay. Somebody to help us there. When we talk about justifying, do we talk about the positive part only, or we talk about both positive and negative?
Pascal,
Yes.
I think it's the positive. I'm just thinking it's the positive part of it. You give why, the positive part of it. I don't know, but that's my thinking.
Okay. Seeing two hands here. Yes, Phyllis.
Pascal,
Yes.
I think we are supposed to discuss on only positive because we are justifying the use of an email.
Okay. Lydia Mudoni.
No.
Yes, Lydia. Lydia is not talking, okay. 0860.
Now, for example,
Yes.
you can be told to justify your course in a court of law. Civil, you may be
Yes.
on the wrong, but you will justify yourself as to why you did that. Somebody else will justify himself as to why he didn't want ABCD to be done. So I think it is on both sides.
All right. Yes, I've gotten what I was looking for in that is on the guidelines for preparing for and answering essay questions. So some of the direction words here is justify, which is to prove or give reasons for conclusions or decisions. They can be positive or negative. So we can justify by giving the positive reasons and the negative reasons. That is, we can talk about the positive side of it. At the same time, we talk about the negative side of it. Tumeelewana hapo? Rosaida?
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Let's carry on the significance of psychological considerations in curriculum development process. The psychological consideration in the curriculum development process. So we need to discuss, now we need to discuss on the considerations, on the significance of the psychological considerations. So we are having the psychological considerations during the curriculum development process. So what is the importance or what is the significance of this psychological consideration?
Pascal,
Yes.
could this question mean the same as the other one that people are debating on?
Which other, the other one that we did the other time?
Yeah. Psychological considerations in curriculum development. Only that this part of the significance.
Let me take us there.
I think they resemble. Ile yenye nilikutumia kwa wall.
I'm just getting there. Yes, here we are. Na kuna mtu ananyonga mtoto kwa darasa. Tafadhali.
Does it mean this?
Oh, unmute yourself, Damaris. Nime mute kwa sababu kuna
Pascal.
Yes.
Do you think it means the same?
Pascal?
Yes.
Mwambie yes, but now they want you to keep the importance. Why is it important for you to consider the psychological factor?
Okay. Now, in both cases, oh, somebody is talking. Okay, so this question and the other one are the same, except that the other one is now asking the importance of these psychological factors. Now, the psychological factors we were able to state, but now we are asked now, what are the significance of these psychological factors of the curriculum? The significance of the psychological factor in curriculum development process.
Mbona unatoa haraka?
I'm getting us where we are supposed to be.
Sasa wewe unasema muli discuss ingine kama wengine hatukokuwa.
We will share once we convert to PDF. I think we will share.
Hebu share kidogo, sawa. Thank you.
All right. Now, so what are the significance of the psychological considerations in the curriculum development process? Yes, adult learning, ndio hiyo sasa.
Pascal.
Yes.
Hapa sasa ni kufambo, najaribu hata mimi. Reinforcement and stimulation will help the learner act according, yani atafuata ile behavior nzuri kwa darasa, ile curriculum inahitaji kwa shule sasa. He or she will display the right behavior. Ndio akishafanya hii kitu fulani ukimwambia good, next time atajaribu tena, ataendelea kufanya vizuri.
Thank you. Thank you. Someone else was talking. Yes? Yes, Phyllis. Phyllis, unmute.
I'm saying, I'm sorry. I was saying, let me try this way. That one, when you consider a point like the one we discussed earlier about interest last time, now you'll be able to design a good curriculum, or you'll be able to develop a good curriculum when you consider the interest of the learner. According to me. Are we there?
You'll be able to design a good curriculum depending on the interest of the learner.
Yes.
Right. I got you well. Fildema.
As far as stages of account development are concerned, I can say that we'll be able to develop a curriculum according to the level of our learner. Many patterns.
Yes, just developing the curriculum according to the level of the learner.
Yeah.
The rest, what do you think on this, on the same?
Significance of psychological consideration in curriculum development.
Yes, Lydia.
Yes, Pascal.
Yes.
I have a point here. Okay, my point goes like this. It contributes to appropriate decision-making in curriculum regarding selection and organization of the objectives.
Contributes to appropriate decision-making regarding the selection and the?
And organization of objectives.
And organization of objectives. Very, very, very right. Now, Christine is saying that it makes learning efficient and effective. It makes learning efficient and effective. There is no any other hand. There is no any other hand. Janet is saying that it also helps in the development of appropriate teaching methods. Right. Sarah is also saying that it helps in preparation of learning materials. Learning materials, of course, they are supposed to be learning materials which are age and level appropriate. We are going to get there. We'll be able to look at what is there in store for us. Yes, Rosaida.
Can we say in the interest, it helps whoever is making the decision to come up with things that are favoring each and every learner's needs, because you have to consider each and everyone's needs.
Right, right. Philema was asking a question on school readiness and maturation. What do we say about that?
School readiness and maturation.
Yes, school readiness and maturation. Total silence.
When we talk about readiness and maturation, hello?
Yes, yes.
When we talk about readiness and maturation, that is what you have asked.
Yes, yes.
For example, if a learner comes to school having shown some interest to learn, meaning he or she is ready, that learner will be able to grasp concepts easily. Unlike taking a learner who has not shown any interest in learning, he or she is not ready. Itakuwa ni kama kupeleka ng'ombe anywe maji na hataki kukunywa. Maturation also helps. You can find a learner who maybe have stayed home for quite some time, maybe due to lack of school fee, nini. Amekuja shuleni kama maybe ako class, ako maybe 10 years. Na unampeleka PP1, aanze kujua hizo. You will find, because ako mature enough, he or she will be able to grasp concepts easier, and then we will be able to accelerate the learner much easier, even without finishing the scope set for PP1. Atakuwa amekuwa accelerated to maybe standard, maybe PP2 or class 1, because it's mature and ready to learn.
Thank you.
That is my perception. I don't know.
Thank you very much, Josephine, for that handy contribution. I think all hands have been exhausted. So what can we say about readiness and maturation? That one we have answered. So let's move to the next question before we look at the slide with the answers. Discuss this question 4. Discuss the ways computer technology enhances delivery of educational services for learners with autism. Discuss the ways computer technology enhances delivery of educational services for learners with autism. So maybe we need to ask ourselves the first question.
Behaviors of learners.
On what is autism? And then we look at the behaviors of the learners who are autistic. And then from there, we can now answer the question. So what is autism? Yes?
Pascal,
Yes.
mimi na yangu ni ya guess tu. Wanasema guess siku moja utajua. It's a developmental disability that affects the communication and the social interaction of the learner.
Are you sure you did not know?
Mimi najaribu nasema nani ilikuwa kwa specialist, lakini sasa ni gani? Una case tu.
Right. Maybe you can now pardon the answer.
Okay, you are saying it's a developmental disability which affects the social interaction and the communication of the learner.
Yeah. It affects the social and communication ability of the learner. So class, what are some of the characteristics of autism?
Pascal.
Yes.
Yes, what the characteristics?
Yes.
They have low attention span while they are in the class or when they are doing the activities.
Low attention span, and somebody has also said they do not like change. Which change is this? Ile ya duka ama Fildema?
To change, it means to changing activities from one activity to the other. They resist to change.
They resist, even like when they know something to exist in color blue, Then you come with another version that has color green.
Yes.
We will never
Okay.
accept the green.
Yeah, if it was mathematics in class, to change it to English, it is a problem. They have to take time.
Thank you. Yes, Fildema.
Temper tantrums.
Temper tantrums. Rosaida.
They have challenge in communicating, and also they like repeating what someone has said.
They like repeating whatever has been said. Phyllis?
They have they have unusual interest in objects.
Unusual interest in objects. You get 11-year-old or a 15-year-old is attached to a doll, and this is a boy.
Yeah.
It's attached to a doll to an extent that you can't separate the person or the individual from the doll no matter what.
Yeah.
Thank you. They also show distress for no apparent reason. They resist being cuddled. Some may also always isolate themselves. And there are those who are having those who like rocking their heads repeatedly. They may also be very hyperactive, because now that is a common trait that is shared across with the GT. Yes, Sharon. Sharon, unmute and contribute, Sharon.
Hello, these autistic children have a problem in expressive and receptive communication.
So they have a problem with the communication, both expressive and
receptive.
Thank you. And I've also seen somebody saying that they have little or no eye contact. But now here in eye contact, you get an adult who will always never have an eye contact with other people. And the reasons behind it may be many. I was being told we're getting Wachawi, so they do not want the direct eye contact with others. That was just by the way. Now, let's now look at the question. That is now on discuss the ways computer technology enhances delivery of educational services for learners with autism. Now remember that the main thing that we are looking at here is how computer technology can be used to deliver education services. Now, for learners with autism is by the way part of the question. So we can now answer that.
Now, for example, Pascal.
Yes.
Problem on communication, receptive and expressive, part of it will help these learners with autism. For example, when you give them a cartoon reciting A to maybe 1 to 10, they will write count. They will be seeing the numbers, and then he or she will be able to identify one akiona mahali kwa ajili it is well recorded in the brain. Aliimba na akaona vile inakaa through the cartoon things in the computer there. So it will help him to communicate. Both he will be able to express himself. This is 1, 2.
Thank you.
And he will also give information.
Thank you very much. Jacqueline? Jacqueline, unmute.
Wakati bado ana unmute, it will help maintaining their attention span.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, in the side of the low attention span, the runners, if they are given these gadgets to operate, maybe they are given the gadgets. Now, when they are given, they pray, they manipulate these gadgets, and hence the attention span is captured and the curiosity is developed in these runners. That is what I can talk.
Thank you. They manipulate and the confidence. Rather, the attention is enhanced. Correct?
Now that one of the characteristics is taking on one activity, I think when the learner uses the computer, he or she will be able to engage in different activities.
Be able to engage in different activities while using the computer.
And another thing, Pascal.
Yes.
The learner will be learning through different sensory organs. Itakuwa ni sight, touching, hearing. He will be using different sensory organs to learn.
Thank you. Sharon? Sharon? Sharon, unmute, please. All right. It seems Sharon is not unmuting, so let's carry on. So that was on question on the use of computer in enhancing or delivery of education services for learners who are autistic. Now, describe the steps followed in micro teaching. Describe the steps followed in micro teaching. What are the steps followed in micro teaching? So you're supposed to describe the steps that are followed in micro teaching.
Pascal, what is micro teaching? Before we answer that question.
Pascal has been thrown out. I think we can discuss what we're teaching as we wait for him. Christine is saying micro teaching is rehearsing teaching before the actual teaching. Rehearsing teaching before the actual one. I don't know whether there is a different answer. Janet is telling us that it's a technique aiming to prepare teacher candidate to the real classroom setting. It's a technique aiming to prepare teacher candidates to the real classroom setting. Any other reaction?
Field demo.
We're still on microteaching before we go to the steps. What are you saying, Rosaida?
Field demo.
Yes. Rosaida. Rosa. Kusida pena imepotea. A teacher training and faculty development technique. It's an organized section whereby teacher trainee practice the teaching skills before the actual teaching. Lina anauliza ni module gani hiyo? Tutapata mambo ya microteaching. Is it teaching strategies? Inapatikana huko. I think now we have exhausted the meaning of microteaching. Maybe we can back to our question. Was it the stages? Stages of microteaching. Pascal bado hajarudi. Maggie has given us the stages. We plan. After planning, you teach. After teaching, you give the feedback. You replan, you reteach, and you re-feedback. That is Maggie. Ciprosa, we are still there. Okay, Ciprosa, for one, we were discussing what is microteaching, but the question was, describe the steps in microteaching. And now that is where we are. Giving the meaning of microteaching can't give you the 10 marks. So we are discussing the steps now. Sioni mkono. Nobody has raised the hand. Pascal hata amerudi. Pascal.
Yes.
We have already said what is microteaching. We are now discussing the steps. And Maggie has given the steps on the chat box. Na hapo ndio tumefikia. She has talked of plan, you teach, feedback, you give the feedback, you replan, you reteach, and you refeed back. That is according to Maggie, so you can continue from there.
Thank you very much for carrying on. So that means we have done up to number 4B. Philema, right? Philema?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So let's now go through let's go through what is there. Let me increase the font here.
Yeah, okay. Unajua iko na hiyo nini?
Okay, so we talked about the use of email in accessing.
Which is okay.
The people who are unmuting, and please mute yourself if there is noise in your background. Email can be used to have discussions between students. So we can use the email to create a channel for discussion. And you realize that most people who work in offices, there are those who do not take the calls. And if you want to contact them, you'll have to use the email. Email is useful for answering the questions that arises. So questions about readings and assignments given, problems with concepts or practical work, many of which can be dealt with in a short message in written, or an appointment can be made through the email. And also the email is used to access the e-learning sites, thus accessing the information. Like you can remember during our face-to-face, when the legitimate way of joining had some issues, then the email was the most appropriate way that we were now using to access the e-learning, the KISE e-learning portal, the KISE e-learning portal. We also talked about the significance of psychological considerations in curriculum development process. And here we learned that the learning materials are prepared according to age and level. So the learning materials are prepared according to the age and level. This is in line with the psychological considerations. And then the materials that are made, or it also helps make materials that are learner captivating. That makes the learner's interest as a priority. And those who join school when ready, this point now addresses the issue to go with maturity, the school readiness and maturity. It is now addressed here that those who join school when ready and mature will love the school and they will go through the system easily. It also helps the learners to display the right behaviors as per expectations. Remember, there are expectations that are pegged to every institution that is based on moral uprightness, so that is looking to achieve the moral uprightness in the learner. So the use of computer technology in the delivery of educational services for learners who are autistic. Number one, we are saying that the learners use all their senses are involved in the use rather while using the ICT. While using the ICT, all the learners' senses are involved, and therefore this promotes the growth, both the creativity and other cognitive developmental skills. It also enhances the confidence, the learner's confidence as the learner interacts with the different materials, and including some of the animals that are considered to be wild. When the learner come across them and the learner makes himself to be familiar with them, then you realize that it creates the confidence. It also makes learning interesting, and therefore it creates a desire in learners. This is where we now talk about the curiosity aspect of it. It creates the curiosity that needs to be quenched by the acquisition of the knowledge. And then the creative skills are also built through the computer games. Remember, learners get the opportunity to also play the computer games, and therefore their creative skills at this point are built. The learners also enjoy soothing music, and therefore this will build their response towards the musical tunes. And it is in the field of music that when there are some good musical beats, then and people are seated, you'll realize that no one will remain, no one will just remain like a statue, but you'll find people busy. Those who will be nodding while others, and even those who are having mental capabilities, when it comes to music, they tend to be very active. I don't know whether you people have ever seen that. When the music is being played, those who are having the mental challenges, when they rise up, they dance better than those who are having their cognitive abilities right with them. Have you?
Yes.
So that is something that that is real, and it is part and parcel of the life that we're now living today. And what about those who are poor in dancing? Where will we put them? That there is a requirement when it comes to music. They will also have a place to fall. And remember, also through the computer, the use of ICT, these learners, they are able to also express themselves by either by when they get the time to draw, they express themselves through drawing. They also express themselves through the communication bit of it. That is the both receptive and which other one?
We have receptive and expressive.
Thank you very much. Now, there we are. Explain the significance. Explain the significance of the bliss symbols in language teaching for learners with communication difficulties.
Have you displayed the stages of microteaching? 4B.
Let me check it. No. The micro teaching I've not displayed. Let me insert that. Yes, so there we are. We are looking at the micro teaching. So in the micro teaching, when we talk about the micro teaching, like now we are going to have our teaching practice. Now, micro teaching is like a shadow of the real teaching when you're now out in the field. So while you are organizing for a micro teaching, and in the micro teaching, when you are organizing, of course, you will have to orient those that you want to teach. You'll have to give them, you will have to orient them on the area that you are going to teach, and you have to let them know what they are going to represent, or which level of the learners they are going to represent while you are taking them through this. And after that, there is going to be the discussion of the teaching skills, where you will also have to select a particular skill. You are having the skills to be used, but you are going to learn or select one of the skills, and then that you are going to use. Then you will have to practice the skill during the micro teaching. You will also have to provide the feedback, and proving the feedback, whether what you are, your feedback on the skill that you are using, whether it was successful. That is both from those you are teaching, and after that, you now have to replan yourself again before you redo the teaching. And planning yourself means you're now going to improve in the areas that maybe some of the weaknesses or some of the pitfalls on your side, so that in your next reteaching, you now perfect on them. There we are. What is now? We are required to explain the significance of the bliss symbols in language teaching for learners with communication difficulties. So maybe we start by looking at the meaning of bliss symbols. Let's begin looking at the bliss symbols. So what are the bliss symbols?
Pascal, kindly
Yes.
allow me to take you back.
Yes.
May you briefly talk about orientation and the steps followed in micro teaching?
All right. On orientation.
Yes. Inafanyiwa nani na ni wapi?
Yes.
What am I being orientated to?
Okay, now when we talk about orientation, when we talk about orientation in this case, it is now the action that is now taken towards someone or something in specific, maybe in specified areas. You're trying to let the person know that this is what I am going to do. And in this case, in the micro teaching, in the orientation, you are going to state, now, if I have to orient the class, it means that I am going to prepare you early. I would love to let you know that during the micro teaching, this is the area that I'm going to deal with. And during this orientation, this is also the time when you are going to be given roles. There are those who are going to be maybe the learners in the class, and in one way or the other, there are those who can play the supervisory role, including the the position of an assessor, so that during your lesson you are going to have groups. There are those who are going to be learners, there are those who are going to be the assessor. And remember, during the micro teaching, all the classroom requirements, including the skills, including the classroom rules, this is where you are now going to let them know what is expected of them. You can't be doing the diploma in special needs, but you are now given a grade 2 subject to teach. So we do not expect your learners to behave as if they are diploma students, because you are going to do the micro teaching. And in this case, all of them are going to be reduced to grade 2, and they have to portray the characteristics that matches the learners of that level. While there are also going to be those who are going to be assigned roles of supervisors and even their stressors during this period. Idem?
Yes, yes, thank you very much. Understood now.
All right. Let's carry on. So what are bliss symbols? Bliss, the bliss symbols. What are bliss symbols? Before we look at that question, what are bliss symbols? Yes. Module number 16. So what are bliss symbols?
And find that
yes.
It refers to the representation of the ideas, concepts, and maybe words using pictures.
Using pictures.
Something.
I just want to get it somewhere here so that I show you the bliss symbols. Yes. Let me just get it so that we look at it together. Yes, so I don't know whether you are able to see the screen, but I want you to see this part which is highlighted. Are you able to see the highlighted part?
Yes.
Yes, so bliss symbols are also known as bliss symbolics. These are it is a constructed language conceived as an ideographic writing system called sematography. And this writing consists of several hundred basic symbols, each representing a concept, which can be composed to generate new symbols that represents new concept. And as you can see, towards the right, the far right, yes, the far right of the screen, you can see there are symbols that are used there. And one of the first symbols up there stands for the tree. Then there is the flower. There is the park. There is the symbol for a person. There is shelter. There is family. There is mouth, ear in language. Fildema.
Yes. Hey.
Part of these bliss symbols were given during the face-to-face kisse by Madam Eunice.
Huh?
Can you remember? Part of the bliss symbol, there was that bliss symbol chart that they were printed that were given to some groups, and I can remember you giving one to Edwin Ogada.
Yes, for your.
Yes.
Yes, I remember them.
Thank you. So when we talk about the bliss symbols, we talk about the bliss symbols. These are now, they are used to represent, they are used for representations in languages. But remember, when you bring them together, you can form different objects that you may wish to have. I don't know whether I'm able to display the one I've copied here. Let me see. Yes, so let me create a slide for that I can show it here. Now, are we able to see the one on the screen, please?
Yes.
Yes, we can see.
So these ones are bliss symbols. Let me get back and again copy something so that we can look at it completely. Yes, so these are the signs for the, now bliss symbols, these are constructions of a language writing that are consisting of several hundred basics of symbols, and each representing a concept. So they can be composed together to generate new symbols that represents new concepts. So that is when we talk about the bliss symbols. And these bliss symbols, depending with how you want to use them, when you get to the computer and you want to draw a human being, it may not be very easy drawing a human being, but you will get you'll get something that is circular, and the circular part of it, you will have to form eyes inside, you'll have to form the nose, to show that what you're making is a head. And while you are doing so, you are now picking different bliss symbols and you are merging them together to generate new symbols that will now represent new concepts. So let's now get back to the question, that is, explain the significance of bliss symbols in language teaching for learners with communication difficulties. Yes. Your response? Baira, Baira, umechoka mapema aje?
Acha tu.
Okay, so that means watu wamefunga akili. Umefunga akili, si ndio?
Pascal.
Yes.
Najaribu.
Yes.
Maybe one, it helps the learner, it guides the learner on the activity to be done. Maybe like if I show the learner the bell, maybe it shows that it's time for break or time for lunch, something like that.
Okay. Now that the rest have decided to keep quiet.
Hello.
Yes.
For example, we can use them in making a network, what board learning, chatbots, jumping board learning for learning, maybe for learners who are having communication skill. Ikifika saa ya break, unaona anaenda kushika kikombe kwa hiyo chat. Ikifika maybe saa yenye anataka kuenda hata unaona kitu chenye anashika. Itakuonesha tu this child has this specific kind of need.
Okay, thank you, Josephine. Right. I can see it is already 9:30. Na naona holiday ya Wednesday imerudishwa, ya Tuesday imerudishwa kesho. Anyway, Julins,
can you say that it helps the learner to pass some information that he or he wants to pass? Maybe he cannot or he cannot talk. Can you hear me?
Yes, we are getting you. Carry on.
I'm saying maybe
Yes.
it can help the learner to pass some information that he or she cannot tell by just touching on the symbol that shows what he or she wants.
Yes, very true. Very true. It's a way of when some of them, when you see them, like when somebody sends you a bliss symbol for the heart, what will you perceive about it?
You know.
Of course, love.
Hajakwambia ni hiyo tu imetumwa. So you see, so it is a way by the use of the bliss symbols, communication can be made. And I can remember some time back when those days, when those days were those days. If somebody drew for you the sign of love, na nyamaze tu, you did not expect much to be said about it. But wewe mwenye ulichorewa, you had already wired your mind very well, your brain very well on what was to be communicated using the word. So it can also be used as an indicator for a specific communication that you want to make towards an individual. I'm going to request now somebody to maybe offer us the closing prayer so that we can rest. Caroline.
I'm praying.
Okay, please.
Okay, let's pray. Our Father, art in heaven, we come to you this evening, thanking you for the gift of life. Thank you for this time. Thank you for the nice lesson that we've had. As we retire to our beds, Lord, guide us, so that when we wake up in good health, we shall honor and glorify your holy name. In Jesus' name, I do believe and pray.
Amen.
Na Pascal.
Yes.
Ati Tuesday hakuna holiday?
Soma hapo NTV.
Hiyo si NTV ya Kenya, ni Uganda.
Good night, everyone.
Nasema ni
good night.
Tuko kwa class ama tuko kwa NTV? Hebu wewe mwenye umesoma utuambie.
It has been reversed.
To when?
Ati tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Sasa sema vizuri nyinyi.